Okay, how are you going to reprogram men so that they don't let us take over what's supposed to be their responsibility? And men that I have had dealings with, they are perfectly willing to sit back and let us do anything we want to.
I don't think that you have to reprogram men. I think you have to reprogram women.
No, you have to reprogram the man so that he will forcefully take what belongs to him, because you know women, as long as we can get, we're going to get, and it's part of our being. We're going to do anything to you that you let us, whether we want to or not.
You don't want to live on the level of income that I can afford you in love. Me, on the basis of that, you want to always be aspiring to have all those things that's a part of the great middle-class white American society, and because I can't deliver these things to you, you say that you are not a man.
I don't measure a man by how much money he can bring home. I measure a man by how he treats me. Whether when I'm tired and I'm sick and I'm scared, he's there.
There have been a lot of myths created about the black family. We all recognize that. And one of the most pernicious myths is the myth of the black matriarch, and this whole concept. And I think this is one of the reasons that the black community reacted so negatively to the Moynihan report, because we know that that's not true.
It was not like
the black woman has not been a matriarch in the sense that it has been defined thus far. And thank God research, and I hope black research, is being done now to reverse that kind of thing. In fact, the black woman has been a woman at the head of a household, not by choice, but by necessity. And often, that's right, and more often than not, she is not a strong, matriarchal, aggressive, domineering figure. She is a...
So we're in Telegram, right? And I'm chatting back and forth with young Grizzly, talking about a concept we call predatory females. But not predatory in the sense that they call black men predatory, like preying on women under 21, grooming them and all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's not the sense that we're talking about. We're talking about black women that choose compromised males. Like we always talk about them choosing Prison Bay and getting men coming fresh out of jail, or choosing what we call quote unquote Pookie and Ray Ray that are compromised as far as money and outlook and even education, sometimes even IQ, because she needs to be in control of her household. And really, that's not new. That's something that's been going on for quite a while. And as my mentor used to tell me, that black men and women are in reverse order of nature. And it's probably why I'm going to have to put this on my Black Pill Gnostic page, because it's going to get kind of spicy. And, so he commissioned me to actually do this video, and I may do a live later on, maybe later on today or maybe tomorrow, since he's kind of inspired this, but we'll see. But in the meantime, haven't done this in a while, I kind of feel a rant coming on. So drop the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get it straight, man. This is not new. In fact, I just played this clip from 1970 where women are admitting that they want control of the household, admitting that they have control of the household. People have gone in on me about playing James Earl Jones's piece, saying that once black women got used to controlling the rolling pin and blaming us for being compromised as slaves, as semi-slaves under Jim Crow, were under the threat of lynching, hanging, and death, not being able to protect them. Still to this day, hundreds of years later, they're still saying the same thing. 50 years later, they're saying the same thing. And I'm going to lead with this piece where black women actually blamed us, okay, for not being strong enough to, by force, take things from them. And she said it for herself. There's plenty of guys that she dated, and this is in 1970, that were willing to allow her to do anything that she wanted. And the guys that won't put up with that either have to do one or two things: pay them so much money to shut the fuck up and let them do them, and supply her with a lifestyle. And that's why the $100,000 and the $100K and the $200K and the $300K, you have to pay her enough money to shut up and contain her training and her nature to get any semblance of peace. Because don't get it twisted. I don't care how smart you are, how much money you earn, or what you do. You could take Michelle Obama's piece that she talked about being married, and how she hated Barack Obama for 10 years, and how she resented him for not helping her with the children, not doing diapers and not doing all the other kind of stuff that was actually her job, that she could have easily paid a nanny to do, because Michelle Obama was making $1 million a year. Easily brought in help, but she wanted him to serve her. That's the problem. Black women really want black men to serve them. That's how come they can take a homosexual in. Most women, especially white women, will not take a homosexual in and have him lay on her couch. Black women will. When the first thing you know, this is something that goes back way back, man. I've actually talked to a few friends, female friends of mine, that are actually on the borderline masculine and mean, right? And the mean, I said, I asked her, this has got to be like 20 some odd years ago. I asked her, okay? I said, how do you get boyfriends, or how do you get men to be with you and be as aggressive, blunt, and mean as you are? And she said, simple, I pay. And I've heard that from more than a few women. I pay. That's how come more single black women have houses than black men. And it's quickly being more white women as they become more aggressive and more independent and less agreeable. Families of women will actually team up and put the girls in houses, give them a start, and put them in houses. They won't do it for the boys. Okay, they won't front a boy a car, or front a boy a house to take care of a family, or front a boy education so they can get educated, make more money, and actually raise a family as head of household. Because what? They don't want him to be head of household. They want him compromised. Black women choose compromised men on purpose. And then when they do get a guy that is that dude, is the shit, they will still try to drag him down and compromise him in some kind of way. In fact, there's a lot of guys that are accomplished, man. I talk, all the PhDs that I talk to that are accomplished, make a lot of money, top 1% of all black men. Because you have a PhD, you're a black PhD that's male, you're in the top 1% of all black people. I don't care what you say. Probably in the point something, just on education alone, right? If you make 6 figures, that puts you in the stratosphere. They all complain about the same thing, right? You have a woman that's less accomplished, that barely has a bachelor's degree. And some of them, you have high school teachers, the people that teach high school, right? And I've heard this on more than one occasion. A black woman that teaches high school thinks that she's superior to a PhD that teaches college, a college professor. She thinks she's superior to him, right? And talks down to him because she's trying to drag him down to be compromised. That has happened to me on many occasions, right? Women that I know that as far as class and intellect, they're inferior, okay? They get pissed off. They can't argue with me. They can't debate me. They can't use words better than I can. So they do a lot of passive aggressive stuff to compromise me. And I can't tell you how many women that I've been associated with, that I've dated, try to bribe me with a house, with shelter. Why? Because she wanted control of the relationship. The Green Gorilla just said it. I was on a live with him and his friend Stacy. And the first thing his mother told him, never live with a black woman. Why? Because his mother know inherently that if a black woman has control of your housing and your shelter, then you're compromised. And the reason that she wants you to live with her is so that you will be under her control. First thing a single mother tries to do is move a guy in. Why? Because she needs somebody to help with the bills. She needs somebody to help with the kids. She needs somebody to help with household chores. And she doesn't want to do what? She don't want to submit. She don't want to be agreeable. She wants to be in charge. That's what she's taught by her mother and her grandmother and her great-grandmother, how to be in charge. Black women know this. All black women know this. That's how come they prioritize the education of their girls, prioritize the girls making money, prioritize the girls having housing. They know that most black women are actually socialized to be insufferable. They are. They're socialized to be insufferable. They're socialized to be combative. They're socialized to be strong and argumentative and masculine. They're socialized for that. And first thing they say, no, we not. We just put in that position. No, you are not. Okay? You look at any media, any TV show that black women frequent. Do you ever see a submissive, cooperative woman? Even the women that we love, like Claire Huxtable. Claire Huxtable is basically Michelle Obama, if you think about it. Does she love her husband? Yes. Does she love her family? Yes. Does she run her house? Yes, she does. Cliff does not run that house. All the one-liners come from Claire. Claire is better than him. Claire tolerates Cliff, even though Cliff is a doctor. He doesn't get any respect for being a physician. He's treated just like somebody that she has to manage and take charge of and keep him out of trouble. And that's supposed to be funny. Same thing in a different world. The women ran the yard. The men didn't. The women always had the one-liners and putting the guys down and telling them where to get off. Why did they do that? Because they know that black women will not watch that show if they have a submissive, agreeable black woman. Agreeable women are actually for white TV shows. They like the mouthy, disagreeable, headstrong black woman. I was watching which I can't stand it, but Doc got me watching the Best Man, right? The final chapters. Same stuff. These powerful, no nonsense one-liners that come from the women. I'm watching the courting process between a few of the single people, right? There's one woman that's single, there's one guy that's single, right? And the snarkiness, the low-key, sometimes low-key comes sometimes above board snarkiness, romance that's going on between black men and black women. In fact, I might cut out a couple pieces. I might review this and actually show these things, even though it's going to get demonetized. It's okay. I want to show this. Because I was trying to tell Stacy this is Klingon mating rituals that have been passed down. I told Stacy that the first time I encountered a little girl that liked me, I was 5 in the garage. She's trying to bump panties with me because that's supposed to be 5-year-old sex, right? And she's socking me because I'm not cooperating with her. 3rd grade, right? This little girl used to routinely be mean to me and sock me in the arm because I had to sit next to her because she liked me. I was 8. And this continued throughout my whole life. Black women know they're insufferable. And basically they have to be predatory. They have to, like my mean friend said. She said that women like her have to pay to attract a man. Because black women can be insufferable. Most black women are insufferable. And they know it. That's how come they can't date out. Daphne Springs actually said it, right? With the skit, shut the fuck up, Alex. How come she can't date out? Because the white man in America doesn't like that. Black women pride themselves on talking smack, talking shit to their men, and being insufferable. They do. They know that they are. That's how come they have to be superior. That's how come they can't lead with their sweetness and their kindness and their agreeableness and their niceness. Okay, they used to lead with their cooking skills and their homemaking skills and their cleanliness, right? That they could actually make a home. They were taught to actually run the home by you dropping off the paycheck. Go back and look at Fences, right? With Troy and Rose. Troy was snarky from the very beginning. Rose was never agreeable, okay? But she had skills that Troy needed. This is why he accepted her. She always had something slick to say. She wasn't the doting white female that with the apron on that served her husband, right? With a nice smile. She was never that. Black women know who they are. Black women know why they pick compromised males. Even the ones that are single, that are elite women, educated, master's degrees, PhD, whatever, right? They know they got the compromised 12 to 5 guy coming through to have sex with them that they can't take out in public. Look at most of Insecure. Look at Lawrence. Issa got along better with Lawrence when Lawrence was compromised. And she didn't feel comfortable getting back with Lawrence until she felt superior to him, until she was the mogul running her own business. All the women in that show had to feel superior to that man. And when they couldn't feel superior to that man, they hated it. They did. But black women will not accept any other situation. At worst, they have to be equal. The only situation that I've seen, and even then she wasn't submissive and she wasn't agreeable, and that was Scandal. The only reason she accepted him in a higher position is because he was white. White guy. And Shonda Rhimes knew that. That's how come she can sell it. Go to any black female TV show that's centered around black people, right? That have black male and female involvement. They're always trying to pull that man down so he can actually be under her. He has to be submissive. Look at Power. His wife, spent the whole series trying to compromise him, to the point she even went to prison. She went to prison because she gassed her son up to the point where he murdered his own father. Why do you think only 10% of black boys can read or have a decent education? Or putting that simp chip in those boys' head? They're producing the men that they want. They're producing their men that they want. Why do you think there's no scholarships or programs for black boys to be educated, to be intellectually superior? White people do it, tons. Jewish people do it, tons. Asian culture, they push the boys forward, right? They have tons of programs for their own boys, right? Tons of schools and programs for their own boys. It's the opposite with black culture. All the programs, all the advantages, all the schools, everything is for the girls. And if boys get one leg up, that means you got to include the girls. You can't exclude the girls. Boys can't have anything on their own. Even to the point that a lot of female Boy Scouts are actually black girls because they have to outdo their brothers. It's not new. So what Grizzly talked about predatory women by using their wealth and their position and the government benefits that are filtered through black women on purpose, as the black man in 1970 said in the clips, on purpose, used to hold the black man down, used to compromise and castrate the black men with the willingness of the black women. What did Stacey Abrams and her crew said? Get behind black women. Stay in your lane. Follow. So that's how come they don't like passport bros. And even the passport bros that are out there, they're trying to tell the passport bros what to do, how you should conduct yourself. You're not going over to get married. You're not buying no land. You're not building no house. Now, who died and made you overseer? Maybe we should start collecting clips, because there's two things that actually brought out black female nature to the point where it can't be hidden anymore. It was Kevin Samuels and his interviews and the passport bros on TikTok. All the vitriol, all the hatred, all the bossiness, all the control, all the insufferable behavior that black men don't like and trying to escape is actually on full display. They're acting like slave catchers, trying to bring the wanton black slaves, black male slaves back to the plantation because you escaped. And you're trying to put a bounty on black men's heads so they'll come back. And you can't help yourself. You know that you're gassing these black men up. You know you're driving more black men away, but you can't help yourself. You got to be who you are. You got to be in control. You know, it's funny. It's really funny because I think it was a few years ago. I wish I could find the article, right? Texas was actually encouraging Section 8 women from California and New York to come to Texas. Why? Because they knew they would bring their boyfriends that were compromised. And once said boyfriends were in the state of Texas, they could actually find reason to lock them up and fill their prisons. Because they know that Section 8 women bribe black men with households, with housing. So they'll take a brother that's compromised, take a brother that's semi-homeless, and bring him in because they need company. They need somebody to actually lord over and control. Because that's what they learned. They're trying to replicate what they're told with their mamas. It's not a secret, it's an open secret. But anyway, this rant probably has gone on long enough. And so I'm going to stop the beat. And I'm going to see you guys next time. Shout out to Young Grizzly for sponsoring this message. And I'll try to do a stream on it. Because this is an open secret. Like he says, we don't talk about it enough. We really don't. And black men are so ashamed that we're in this position. I had an argument about this on Saturday. Because I was telling them how black men are actually trained to serve their women. And most black men do not want to admit that shit because they're fucking ashamed of it. They won't talk about it. They don't talk about the, and I have on my board called Abuse is Love. That black men have been so socialized to see their abuse by black women as love. Verbally and physically. Is love. And laugh about it. And think that makes them strong by being able to actually withstand and push back on their abuse. Because their father did it. Their grandfather did it. Their great-grandfather did it. Anyhow, let me jump off of here before I actually boot this stuff back up again. Because at some point you got to edit this stuff and get it put up. So with that, I'm going to jump off here. This is BGS Out, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.